The question we had a moment ago for those joining us online was, what is the importance of the aggregated fund? Let's recap very quickly. All of the funds raised, the money from the purchases, the money in your online funds account or your wallet is all aggregated together, earning compounded aggregated interest, with that interest going back to the organizations of your choice for your needs in your communities. At any given time, the amount of money in the aggregated fund is exceeding how much is being dispersed on a daily basis. Think about that, that's quite obvious. You run a fundraising campaign for 60 to 90 days, you're leaving it in to get the compounding aggregated interest. There's more money in the fund than that's going out every day on funds release. So how is that money used to benefit communities? That's what we're going to talk about now. So, as we've just mentioned, the aggregated fund consists of the funds raised, the money from your online funds account, the money used for payments and any other community purchases that you make. We mentioned that the interest is compounding and is aggregated and is being returned to your grassroots organizations of your choice for your needs. So what happens is the aggregated fund becomes effectively a chest of funds that can be used to fund things in communities for your needs. This is the big important point. The money in the aggregated fund, the interest earned, is not going to us as a company. It's going to you as individuals, as organizations, and as groups. It's going back to your communities. So as the gentleman over here, said, you have a choice. You can keep paying to fund corporates, or you can have the Ahha and fund yourselves in your communities. So, how is the fund used? Remember a moment ago we said at any given time there's more money in the fund earning aggregated compounding interest than is dispersed out on a daily basis. Some of these activities are not currently underway because the level of funds is still being built. Some of the activities we're going to talk about are underway. Because you have this chest of funds, we can use this to support communities. First one is insurance. There are many not-for-profits and many charities that run activities that cannot get professional indemnity, public liability insurance, and those sorts of insurance. This is killing off these community events. Because we have the aggregated fund, we can use that fund for insurance for community events. There are lots of welfare groups around the country and around the world about the need for low-cost housing and how people cannot afford assurance for their homes and their cars, and how the insurance, even when they get it, even when they're paying for it, isn't covering what it's meant to do. and we all know why. Well, here we have a fund that can be used to provide insurance for homes, transportation and other purposes. One of the big ones in certain countries is access to health insurance, and how health insurance is beyond the reach of many people. The money in the aggregated fund can be used and is being used for health and welfare insurance purposes. And the reason that we can do this is as follows. We have the aggregated fund. The costs of operation are less. We're not routing the profits on your insurance to the top. The cost is just covering the insurance, and any of the profits are going back into grassroots. So you have a choice of who you want to insure with. Many not-for-profits and charity organisations talk about the lack of affordable housing. They talk about the lack of housing for the homeless. Economic analysts will tell you it's cheaper and better for society to give people and help them into homes than it is to leave them homeless. So money from the aggregated fund is being used to invest in houses and community infrastructure. So when you buy your raffle ticket, you do your tipping competition, your money goes into the aggregated fund. The aggregated compounding interest is going back to grassroots, and the excess money on hand at any given time can be used for, and is starting to be used for housing and community infrastructure. A moment ago we talked about insurance, the issues with accessibility to insurance. We are just about to start to do it, that the aggregated fund can be used for loans and mortgages. It can be used for microfunding, and it can be used for municipal bonds. And as we talked about a moment ago, you have a simple choice. You can use Ahha, use the services it provided, fund your community, use the aggregated fund to help with all the other things that you're looking for, or you can stick with the status quo. It's your choice. Couple of aspects of the aggregated fund. It's independently held and managed in trust, benefiting you. One of the big factors of the aggregated fund is social pressure. What I mean by that is this. You pay money into your insurance. You know that it's going to be hard to get the insurance paid out. There is no social pressure on the insurance company to make better use of those funds for the betterment of grassroots. Now, with our aggregated fund, this is the hard-earned money coming from people that have done fundraising or made community payments. So, if somebody is looking to take advantage of the fund in an adverse way, there's a much greater moral pressure and a much greater social pressure to behave responsibly. So, if they're going to take advantage of the flexible and advantageous insurance that you can get and start to abuse it, then there's this extra moral factor from all of you to say, do the right thing. By doing the right thing, we have more funds, lower costs, you gain. That social pressure leads into the lowering of the risk and having more funds, as we've talked about before. Remember that the priority is to put money into grassroots and not into corporate profits. And remember, you're gaining from the fund and what it provides. So it's entirely up to you and on your choice as to what you want to do. Thank you.